Forward, Gautam, what do you make of the Friday's price action? I mean, the FNO expiry in the month of Feb was not a great month. Markets kept on making new highs, but there was no follow-up. But on Friday, what we saw, clean breakout, a new high, and a lot of follow-up. Are we in for a smart 1000 plus Nifty rally after Friday's price action?
Well, good morning. I think for the last couple of months, the market has really been in consolidation mode. I think the whole of January and the whole of February, pretty much, you had the Nifty in a sort of a 2.5% kind of a range. But, mind you, there has been a lot of internal correction in the marketplace. Just to share a data point, only 60% of the stocks in the NSE 500 have been trading above the 50-day moving average. And only 50% of the stocks in the NSE mid-cap, small-cap 400 have been trading above the 50-day moving average. Just goes to show that the headline indices are not a good indicator of the kind of internal correction that the market has seen. So clearly the market is looking a lot more fitter, steadier and healthier. And it does seem as if we are going to build up on the gains. The studies are looking relaxed, whether on the breadth studies or the traditional studies. And the chances of the Nifty gradually moving towards 22,800 is pretty high. But I don't think it's going to be a runaway rally. You will keep seeing these dips from time to time. The trajectory is still up. Support levels are very clear in the form of 21,800, 900. And I think the whole of March should go off well. That's the takeaway from the charts. And also when I look at the global markets, I get the confidence that the US market strength is only going to aid India.
Are we in for a pre-election rally? Do you think next 2 months that moot point, the pre-election rally could be the moot point?
Well, in some sense, the election event is a non-event. So I don't think the market is going to be overexcited about getting into the elections or the election results. I think the domestic liquidity angle of 19,000 crores coming in every single month, India becoming one of the best performing markets in the world, bond yields likely to fall. I think all of these triggers are in itself a reason for the markets to do well. But as I've been maintaining all along, I don't think the Nifty is going to gallop. I think you are going to see a lot of themes and a lot of sectors do well, wherein metals, IT, pharma have been on top of our list. So the Nifty could see a measured move, but outside of the Nifty, I think you are going to see some special moves.
Gautam, hi, morning. Wanted to understand what do you think is going to lead the index higher from here? Because we've seen a charged up move from ONGC, the entire energy pack. Then, of course, there's big boy L&T. Reliance has already made it to 3,000. And banks as well in Bits and Star are doing their bid. ICICI Bank, SBI in particular.
Well, for me, it's Reliance Industries. I think this is a stock which was in a sort of a range for about 18 months. Thereafter, once it took past 2750, I think a lot of the triggers on the weekly and the monthly charts became really, really solid. And I do see a 10 to 15% rally on Reliance from current levels, which will have a huge bearing, on the Nifty. And I guess it will, in some sense, keep the Nifty protected. So I think the leadership will come from Reliance. I think there's a lot more upside there, followed by the IT space, which has been in hibernation mode for the last 10 days, but the setup remains super solid. And I do see a 40,000 coming on that index as well. And banks, I think we've come to a point where maybe the underperformance could end. Our favorite remains in the form of SBI, which has been our view all along. But I think even some of the private banks like ICICI Bank and maybe an HDFC Bank at 1400 could see a bit of a bounce. So leadership can actually come from multiple places because you have IT, Reliance, and banks, all three looking good on the charts.
Interesting, and a lot of follow-up questions for you. Firstly, what do you think is the next foreseeable target on Reliance? And from a longer-term perspective as well, say another 6 months down the line, and I'm deliberately calling 6 months long-term, what do you now foresee on the charts for Reliance? And the point that you made about IT, within IT, is it going to be an across-the-board move, or do you think it's going to be specific stocks which are going to make the move within IT?
Well, Aisha, it's actually good that you called 6 months long term because, to be honest, the world is changing every 6 months, and I think you'll have to play these six month cycles multiple times instead of really thinking 5 years, where I think there are just too many dynamics at play. But having said that, I think Reliance is looking good for about 3250, 3300. So that's not very large in percentage terms, but given the kind of weightage that single stock has in the market, I think it's large in that context. And I don't see too many large cap stocks that could give you a clean 10, 15% kind of a move. So that's the kind of upside we are looking at. We are not working with very lofty targets for many of the large cap stocks because I think a lot of the positives are already in the price. But, in terms of the IT space, I think Mid-cap IT has been doing very well. So we've been liking Mastech, LTTS, emphasis there. And I think the run-up will continue. But mid-cap IT is very expensive at these prices. So I think it's a little difficult to make serious commitment at these levels. But large cap IT, I think, is the bigger opportunity. So I see a 20% move in Wipro. I see a 15% move in TCS. HCL Tech has been a star performer. So I think large cap IT pack, I'm a lot more comfortable committing capital at these levels.
Okay.